Beloved, chosen one, child of God, have you ever reached a moment where you looked around and realized that everyone you thought would stay has gone, and all that remains is you and God, and you quietly asked yourself in the depths of your soul, why am I here? Why does it feel so empty? Why does it hurt this way? Hear this clearly, this is not the end of your story, this is the beginning of your alignment, because when God allows a woman to reach a place where she has no one but Him, He is not punishing her, He is positioning her. What feels like isolation is actually divine focus, what feels like abandonment is spiritual protection, because God is removing distractions so He can reveal your true identity, stripping away voices that shaped you, expectations that limited you, and dependencies that weakened you so you can finally hear Him clearly and know who you are without applause, without approval, without anyone else validating you. This season is teaching you that your worth does not come from who stays, who supports you, or who understands you, but from the one who called you before anyone knew your name, and just like Jesus was led into the wilderness alone before His ministry began, God is using this quiet, lonely place to anchor you in truth, because what felt like rejection was actually redirection, and what felt like loss was actually the hand of God saying, I need you focused, healed, and rooted before I release you into what I promised. Chosen one, this season where you feel like you have no one but God is not about emptiness, it is about dependence, because God is teaching you to lean fully on Him and not on people who were never meant to be your source. The ache you feel is the breaking of unhealthy attachments, the dismantling of habits that ran to others for comfort before running to God. And though it feels uncomfortable, even painful, it is necessary, because destiny requires a faith that stands when no one else is standing with you. Spiritually, God is training your trust, teaching you that when support systems disappear, His provision does not, just as Elijah watched the brook dry up and thought provision was ending, when in truth God was transitioning him to a new place of supply. So understand this, what felt like lack was actually movement, what felt like God allowing things to fall apart was Him proving that He alone is enough, that He will sustain you, guide you, and strengthen you when no one calls, no one checks on you, and no one understands, because the woman who learns to depend on God alone becomes unshakable. And when God becomes your foundation, nothing that leaves you can ever break you. Beloved, this is the season where God is healing you in private before He ever elevates you in public, because some restoration cannot happen in noise, and some wounds will never surface while you are busy being strong for everyone else. So God gently removes the audience and invites you into solitude, not to expose you, but to restore you. The tears you cry when no one sees, the prayers you whisper when your voice shakes, the questions you ask God in the silence are not signs of weakness. They are evidence that deep spiritual work is taking place, because the pain of being left, overlooked, misunderstood, or replaced is being transformed into wisdom, discernment, and spiritual authority. The meaning of this struggle is alignment of the heart. God is uprooting rejection so it no longer controls your decisions, healing abandonment so it no longer defines your worth, and closing wounds of betrayal so you do not bleed onto people who did not cut you. And like Hannah who wept alone in the temple while others misjudged her pain, God hears every prayer you release in secret, and He honors what is surrendered in private. Understand this, what looks like delay is actually divine timing. What feels like being hidden is God preserving you, strengthening you, and preparing your character for what your calling will require, because elevation without healing would destroy you, but isolation with God is rebuilding you from the inside out, shaping you into a woman who will no longer beg for love, chase validation, or shrink to be accepted, but will stand whole, secure, and anchored in God's truth, knowing that what felt like being forgotten was actually God saying, I am not ignoring you, I am restoring you. Chosen one, this final revelation is where everything comes together, because when a woman reaches the place where she truly has no one but God, she discovers the greatest truth of all, that God is enough, fully, completely, and forever. This season has been proving to you that your calling is different, that not everyone can walk with you into what God has prepared, and that separation was never meant to break you but to consecrate you. Because God sets apart what He intends to use powerfully, just as Esther was hidden before she was crowned and David was alone with the sheep before he stood before kings. So understand this clearly, what felt like isolation was actually selection. What felt like delay was divine timing aligning every detail of your destiny. Now God is teaching you authority, not desperation, faith, not fear, peace, not panic, And as you stop asking who will help you and start declaring that the Lord is your helper, strength rises in you, clarity fills you, and confidence returns because the woman who knows God is with her can walk forward without approval, without guarantees, and without fear. So hear this encouragement: you are not behind, you are not forgotten, and you are not abandoned. You are becoming exactly who God designed you to be, and this season will pass, but what God has built in you will last. So declare this with faith in your heart and authority in your voice. I am chosen, I am protected, I lack nothing because God is with me, and His timing in my life is perfect. Rest in that truth, walk forward in peace, and trust Him completely, because when you have God, you have everything.